But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I got some new supplies from my friend went to a dispensary in Michigan. I got some new supplies, which is nice.
very nice.
Yes. Um, got a whole bag of goodies.
Ooh,
Um,
boy, it's going to make
Oh
the
man.
make our get together a lot more fun.
yes. Well, they had this is not Loom I went. This is a different herbology. They had these 1 gram cartridges, you know.
Oh, okay.
Normally they're like $25 for a gram. That's you can get about 200 hits off of it. So
Oh,
it'll last you a
wow.
long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, anyway, they had these 12 for $100. I'm like, well, since you're going, might as well get me 24. So I've got I've got enough for 2, 3 years. I mean, I could smoke every goddamn day for 2 years and still not plow through all this. Like constantly smoke all day long and not work my way through this. But I couldn't beat the price. I'm like, I got to.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, that's been really nice. I've been enjoying that thoroughly. Got some new gummies. Um,
Well, I had nice. Got to go to my first concert in 3 years last
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah. You went to
Armored Saint. Yeah, it was
yeah.
sold right out, man. It was sold out. I did wear a mask. I had my earplugs in. I'm like, I wear a good mask too. Like I ain't
Okay.
just gonna. I was
Yeah.
like, one out of like four other people maybe in the whole place, and I said I didn't care. As I'm leaving down from the upper balcony area, general admission, there's this guy yells out, he goes, "Take the damn mask off." And I go, "You do you, brother. You do you.
Right.
Don't worry about me."
Exactly.
And not with everything that's been going around,
It's,
And
it's a bad time of the year. I mean, you know, people in Asia wear masks, you know, during the flu season, or if they're sick, they because they have respect for other people. You know, it was demonized and politicized here in the States, which is ridiculous.
So you were talking about Michigan, and I we went up there a couple weeks ago, like the day before Halloween, because in Monroe, Michigan, there's a drive-in called the Memory Lane Drive-In, and they were showing Night of the Living Dead for free.
Oh wow.
And oh my god, so yeah, I had to go up there and see like one of my favorite scary movies for free at the drive-in the
absolutely.
night before Halloween. But yeah, we get off the exit and it's like weed store, weed store, weed store, weed store, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
is this paradise? Like have we died and entered heaven? I mean, like what
See,
the
that's what Ohio could look like if we got to become a rec state. You know, get off
Yeah.
your asses, lawmakers, and make a good law. Other states are doing it. There's no reason why we can't. But I'm just
what are we
glad that
hurting?
it's
Yeah.
yeah. There's no one hurt. I mean, all the money could come in, and you know, I mean, it's going to happen eventually. We're already a medical state. Now we just need to
Oh
go
yeah.
full rec like Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that it's so close. The border's just a couple hours away.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely. It's a
so
fun little drive up there.
you know, if some of our Michigan sponsors, you know, interested in, you know, dispensaries would like to be a sponsor of our heavy metal horror podcast, I'm thinking Loom and Herbology, we're more than welcome to bring you on, our dear friends. We love to bake.
Is that the best one to go to up there?
Well, Loom has a really great products. Um, and everything that they have, like all their vape cartridges, are completely organic, 100% natural, no additives, no chemicals. It's just distilled essence of, you know, of the cannabis, and then the terpenes are added. So it's an all natural product. So that's what I like about it. It's not
Oh
that all
yeah.
that shit and garbage you're going to get at the cheap junk store. Herbology, I found these MKX cartridges, which are you know, very similar to Loom as far as quality product goes. Uh, but they're just the prices were insane, just crazy cheap. So that's why I'm like, my friend was going anyway, and like, well, I have enough to do me for a while.
You can
Yeah, let's
always
get
have
some more.
more.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah,
dice. If you're a role playing, you know, if you're a gamer, it's like you just can't have enough dice.
no, no,
So
no, no.
I thought, you know, since I'm not the one driving, I just gave him a little extra money and just said, you know, you're getting me 24 carts. Just take any two you want. So he got me essentially like 20 varieties with a couple extras, you know, doubles on some. So it's like I'm in fucking Candyland, you know. I'm just like, so I did the research and like found out like what the strains do. Some are sativas, some are indicas, some are hybrids. The one I enjoyed a couple nights ago it's a hybrid called apple fritter, and
Oh.
that was good, man.
Now I get hungry, but now I wanna
No,
get
I
to what
wasn't.
you
No,
before
it wasn't.
smoking.
It
Yeah.
didn't induce hunger. It was just kind of like this, like nice, like a mellow euphoria, and then it just kind of an overall. My face felt numb, and then my whole body was just buzzing. I'm like, oh, okay,
Come
this is
on.
good. I'm
Yeah, when are we getting together?
Hey,
Yeah.
no, hey man, just get yourself a pen, get yourself a battery, chop top, and which you can get at any dispensary. And yeah, we will do some baking. I know Montag or Dread Bull wants to get together, so I see no reason why we can't get together for a day of waking and baking. You know,
Right.
so Keith, if you're wanting to join us, you're welcome, man. Yeah,
Welcome to the fold. Welcome
yeah,
to the
yeah.
welcome
legacy.
to the
Yeah.
family. I got
You're in the
I got
fam.
I got
Hell
edibles and
yeah.
vapes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, all different effects. And so what Loom, if you go to their site, Loom you can search by effect. So they have it broken down by effect and by like the different types, whether it's a vape, whether it's a edible, whether it's a topicals. So
Yeah.
they have it broken down like from the indica towards sativa forward. They got one called Move, which is a heavy sativa. So if you want a creative and focus and energy, then they have one called Focus, which I really like because it kind of allows you to like Adderall, you focus in on get your job done, but you don't have the time slips, you don't have the paranoia that can come with sativa. Just a nice right in the pocket. Then they have hybrids like Center, which is 1-to-1 THC to CBD, which is beautiful. I love that one. And Recover is like a good first thing in the morning. It's also a nice hybrid where it's just kind of like a reset button. Like you're just all right with the world. You don't feel swimmy. You're just calm and relaxed and focused. I love those. And then you get more of the indicas. There's one called Unwind, which is more indica heavy, where if you like at the end of the day, you want to just chill out. That's good. And there's one called Dream, which I have insomnia, so Dream sometimes helps me to sleep because it's definitely a
Oh,
couch lock indica.
yeah. I need some of that. I have
Yeah,
insomnia bad too. So
exactly. So, and then with my arthritis pain and all those things, it's like there's just a lot of issues for it. So, but I'd never heard of herbology until my friend told me about it, and he said he was going, and I saw these prices. I'm like, holy crap! These cartridges are normally like $25 for a gram, and these were 8 for $100. I'm like, holy crap! That's like a 2/3 off. Like I
Oh
have to.
yeah.
I had no idea what their lines were. I said, just get me 24, whatever they have. This brand MKX. Well, they got 20 some different variants of these, whether it's a sativa or all these different strains, because it's a boutique market now. Marijuana is, and so many strains out there. So I'm like, well, let's get Daddy one of everything.
Real quick, when I went up tonight, I got a disposable pen, and
Oh,
that was
nice.
just fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh man, the highest fucking watching Night of the Living Dead on the drive-in.
Yeah. No,
And then the
that's it.
next night for our anniversary, we went to Crocker Park and watched Dawn of the Dead in 3D.
Oh,
Which
78.
oh,
yes,
Oh, I
next
cried.
year
Oh
when
I
they
went.
if
man.
they
Yeah,
do
I
that
went to that
again,
Montag.
do
I
it.
went with
Yeah.
Rob. I went there.
Ah.
Oh, it's
That
badass.
was beautiful.
Oh yeah, zombie gore flying
Wow. If
right
I'd
at
known that,
you.
I would love to go on to see that.
Pieces of
Yeah.
In
glass
3D.
flying out at you.
Oh, the
Boy,
glass.
it was
Yeah,
it was really
yeah.
well done. And then that famous head explosions. I just lost it.
Oh
Love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it's
Well,
great.
that
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then Jaws like that too.
Yeah,
Huh.
I heard Jaws, and they had Poltergeist, and there was another one that they brought back in
Ooh,
3D. And I'm
that'd
like,
have been great in
I would have loved
3D.
to see it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I heard Jaws was magnificent in
Oh,
3D.
Yeah, I need to
nice.
see that one, but
Oh, cool. All right. Well, it's good to know. We brothers of the bake. We will definitely have plans because I think definitely like we did before we did our knife. We had that at the hotel. We had just watching movies all day. Something
yeah.
like that. That would be awesome. Because
Oh yeah.
Chop's he's an old horror movie fan. I mean, we both grew up like all of us. We're all monster
Oh yeah.
kids, and
Oh yeah.
so no, that'd be great. That would be awesome. That would be a lot of fun. Just
Great
Oh
movie.
yeah.
so cool. All right. Well, hey man, let's get rolling. We're gonna do our intro, and then we will get rolling. We'll get onto this.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
This is Jarvis Leatherby from the heavy metal band Night Demon. You're listening to Heavy Metal Horror.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, this is ChopTop. Keep it heavy and horrific.
And you are watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Oh, kitties. Tonight, got a great show. Got Keith Munden from LegacyVerse Productions LLC. Keith, welcome to Heavy Metal Horror, man.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Now, Keith, you and I met, I don't know how many years ago we met, because we were meeting and doing conventions. Is that how we met, at a convention, or did we meet? We must have met. How was it that we meet? Through a mutual
Actually, we
friend,
met
right?
through Tim Hale.
Oh, right.
Tim
Okay.
Hale. Yeah, he
Yeah.
let us know that he was doing a little bit of stuff with us, and he let us know that he was starring in this movie called Monster of Party Beach.
That's
And
right. That was his first role. Yeah.
yeah. And then they were having the showing. What town was that? It was in a little gaming store.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was my friend Stroby. That was his gaming store out in the middle of the country, out in the middle of the boonies.
Wellington, Wakeman.
Could be, yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe Wellington, Wakeman, somewhere out there. Yeah, I forget where. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
a lot of the people were there, and it was like kind of like a release party kind of thing. Because there were posters and stuff, people were signing. That's right. Yeah. And in spite of that, you stayed friends with me, which is awesome. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was Tim's first role, and now look at him. He's just a whore going around acting everywhere,
Oh man,
So good for
yeah.
him. Good for him.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but Keith has a movie production company also. Like I have Cyclops Movies. Keith has LegacyVerse Productions, and you have been making horror movies for a long time. How far back does LegacyVerse go?
2002. But
Nice.
even before that, I was involved with a company that was in Sandusky called Blade Independent Studios, and they had been making movies through the late '80s and '90s, and I was in a few of their movies as an extra. I helped out, holding the boom mic and stuff like that. But I always wanted to do it on my own. You know, I always wanted to make movies, and eventually I knew I was going to have to do it on my own because, nobody was going to make your dreams happen but you. So you had to pick up the camera and just do it. And yeah,
That's
20
it.
years later.
That's how you start. Like I know I needed something to feed my soul. Like when I started Cyclops, I really wanted something to do because I was in such a black hole. Like God, I need something. And I grew up watching the Little Rascals. I remember like those little poor street urchins were able to put on these lavish productions. I'm thinking those little punk ass kids can make a theater production. I should be able to make a movie. So I had no idea. I mean, I had been in a movie before, but never, so I just started writing and bought a camera and did the research and started asking everyone I know if they wanted to be in this movie without even knowing really what it was going to be. I had the concept, so I get it, man. I get it. All right, Keith. So, what is the first movie you fell in love with?
First movie I fell in love with. Ah, I mean, probably going back to like Night of the Living Dead. I remember getting this. Well, actually, I was babysat at a uncle and aunt's house, and they used to have these. Remember those cheap little like copies of the public domain movies you used to be able to get at like Kmart or wherever.
Yeah.
They had Night of the Living Dead and the Vampire Bat or whatever. And I remember reading about Night of the Living Dead, because I was always big into horror. Because okay, do you remember at the library they used to have these orange books, these little orange books, and they would be about the Universal monster movies,
Oh yeah.
and they would
They
basically be picture books.
right. They had one about Godzilla too.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
King Kong, the
Sure.
Universal monster
All the big
movies,
monsters. Yep.
and
Yep.
they're yes, and they'd basically tell the plot of the movie, and then you would have the pictures. So I was intrigued, and then I discovered the show called Superhost. Do you remember Superhost?
Oh God, yeah.
And,
I
and
have an
oh yeah,
autograph. I have an autograph picture from Soup.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah. Soup was a hero, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And so I got to kind of pre-watch a lot of these movies. Wolfman, Frankenstein, and all that. But I had read about Night of the Living Dead, and finally, it was here, and I got to watch it. And oh my God! I mean, just breaking out and a cold sweat on a hot summer day, watching this movie. Like I was traumatized, but in a good way.
Yeah, nice. Right in the six with you. I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah.
once you get the bug, you just don't ever give it up. That's why October is my favorite month, because everyone starts showing horror movies. It's like, oh, a different horror movie every night. Kind of thing.
It's like watching the giant claw. You always get,
Exactly.
cold shivers and traumatized whenever you watch that. What movie
Patterns.
is Upper Deck? No.
Patterns. Yeah. Yes. Speaking of the giant claw, you're right, right. Yeah. So is Night of the Living Dead? Well, is that your favorite movie now? And if not, what is?
That's always in flux. I mean, I love the original Dawn of the Dead. I would say that's probably a little bit just slightly overnight. Ed Wood, I love Ed Wood. Almost Famous, especially the untitled cut. I love that movie. I don't know, there Pulp Fiction, Fear and Loathing. I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh,
One I really love that a lot of people haven't heard of, Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh yeah, 72,
I remember
74.
Oh,
Yeah.
love that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Love it, love it, love it.
I have to see it again. And I remember trying to watch it. I'm like, oh, I just didn't like it. But it has a really devoted fan base. So it's like, okay, I got to watch this. I got to sit down and just watch this and just give it a shot and watch it from beginning to end. So, all right. So what is your least favorite movie?
Ooh, least favorite movie.
Don't tell me Showgirls, because I know that's not it.
God, I mean, not
Chop
counting.
loves Showgirls. How many times did you jerk off to that, Chop? What are we up to now? About 138, something like that.
Hey,
I lost count
Eliz-
after I lost count on my fingers.
Yeah,
So
the electrolysis
Elizabeth-
finally took. So,
it's
how
like,
many socks have you ruined? Have you violated, Chop?
I
Hey,
had to-
Elizabeth.
I've got about $100 worth of new socks after about watching that film for 3 months. So
It rubs the lotion on skin.
get the sock again. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, Elizabeth Berkley having dolphin sex. I mean, you can't,
That's right. If I could only got that with was it the Britney Spears movie, Crossroads? If I could have seen those two go at it, that'd be great. Bring in Christina
That would have worked
Aguilera.
right there.
I wonder whether that was an acting choice or whether, Paul Verhoeven was just like, when you come, act like a dolphin or whatever. I mean, what? I wonder what Kyle MacLachlan was thinking, while they're
He's
filming
like, how
this.
much money am I getting for this pile of shit?
Where's David Lynch?
Yeah, exactly. The sleeper has awakened in my pants.
Yeah.
I think those aren't as bad as Glitter. Glitter might be the worst movie ever made. I watched that twice.
Twice.
Well,
Why?
I wrote an article about it for the newspaper.
Oh.
So I was always mad at
God
her
bless
boyfriend for dying, like with 20 minutes to go in the movie, because that fucker got out 20 minutes before I did. I had to sit through 20 more minutes of it, and he was dead. He was saved from all the horror. Okay.
What do you consider bad? You consider bad like
Every fucking romance film. That's what I consider.
gotta hate out of
All right.
me, or do you want to say what movies have I walked out of the theater after paying for?
Oh, well, that's interesting. I mean, have you walked out after paying?
I
for a
have.
movie?
I have.
And what movie was that?
Teen Wolf 2.
Oh, wow! You paid money for that? Oh.
Yes. Yes. I like the first.
Did you lose a
one.
bet?
No, I was a kid.
Hey, you watched
oh, you're a
Glitter
kid,
twice, so shut the fuck up.
I did the same thing with Neverending Story. I didn't pay for it. I just snuck in there because I was waiting for another movie. I'm like, this is back in the day where I'd pay for a movie, go watch it, and I'd wait the half an hour between the next movie showed in a different theater, because there was 10 movie theaters. No one knew what was going on.
You
So I just
time it.
Yeah, so I just walked in. I was watching the Never-Ending Story. I'm like, God, this is a pile of shit. What the hell is this? I don't care. I want this dragon to eat this boy. I'm like, oh, it was just shades of like HR Puffin stuff. I'm like, oh, the damn flute, Tommy. I'm like, nah, man. So I just
Hey, you'd
walked
rather
out. I'm like,
watch HR Puffin stuff,
yes,
especially now.
and if get really high, I would
Oh
totally,
yeah.
Because
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah.
they were all floating when they wrote that.
Keep that in mind. Keep that
Or
in mind for our
Lidsville,
get
Charles
together.
Nelson Riley flying around in a big hat. Like, tell me he wasn't blitzed. Well, who's your favorite director?
George Romero.
Oh, nice. What's your favorite Romero movie? Is it Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn.
Then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
With night being very,
Very
very
close.
Yeah.
I like a lot of his stuff. I haven't really followed some of the newer Dead movies because he continues the story. I started watching one with what's his face from TCM2, from Easy Rider, Dennis Hopper. Yeah, I stopped about that time.
Land of the
And
Dead.
yeah, I kind of stopped at that time because I thought I was so disappointed with Day of the Dead. I've tried 3 times to watch this movie. I'm like, oh, it's just a slogfest for me. I can't. I want to like it. I'm like, no, it's just too boring for me. Whereas Dawn, I believe Dawn, it may be my favorite horror movie of all time. To me, it's like that's the holy of holies.
Oh, it's an epic.
It is absolutely perfect. And then you get the director's cut. It's like 20 minutes, longer. I'm like, yeah, that's.
And the European cut too.
I've not seen a European cut.
It's actually a little bit shorter, but they
Okay.
have stuff in there that isn't in either one of the cuts. So,
would that be the Zombie 2 or whatever was it called over that? Zombie
actually,
3.
Zombie 2 is Zombie, Lucio Fulci's.
Right. Okay.
Because
Right.
in Europe, Dawn of the Dead is called Zombie.
Right.
So,
that's right. Zombie 2 is Zombie.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. See,
it's
that's
sad
good
that
to
I know that.
No, that's good, man. It's good. So what is it about the horror genre that you like?
No, it's always intrigued me, even when it scared the shit out of me as a kid. It always intrigued me. Like I used to go into video store and even though I was a small kid, like 6, 7 years old, like I would always park in front of that horror section, and just even the boxes, looked intriguing. Friday the 13th and Halloween, and
Did you eventually find your way back to the back room?
No, not till later.
The sticky room.
Yeah, not till later. Yeah.
And
even then, you do that awkward little I'm looking for
hope
stuff.
they don't see me.
You just go whoop right through the swinging door.
Yep.
Yeah, I worked on at a video store for a while, and sometimes people would bring back those tapes, or they would drop them off, and they would be greasy. And I would write on their account, clean the fucking tape. Fucker. Yeah, it was just like, and I would make it a public announcement. Like if they were in line next time, I would say, hey, when you brought back the fat black ass, you didn't wipe off the tape. It was greasy. Can you just clean the tape? And they were just really embarrassed. I'm like, I don't want to be touching your jizz or whatever the hell's all over it. I don't want to have to buy a hazmat suit to work in a stupid job. Do your diligence and clean off the tape. Yeah.
Oh, people! I used to work at a video store too, and people would line up for their porn. Boy, they would I'd be there at 10 in the morning, and there would be like this little line of people. It's like,
wow,
what do you think you're missing out on, dude? I mean,
gotta get my daily nut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Tuesday, new release day. Yeah, my new girlfriend's here.
Yeah, I get the plus one out today.
That's right.
You would learn some horrible things about the people in your town.
Yes, I had a regular who came in and asking for Indian porn. Do you have any Indian porn? I wrote about him in a short story. Yeah, he smelled like he had vomited up someone else's shit. It was just horrible.
Like 12 shit burgers, huh?
Yeah, it was just bad, man. I'm like, no, we don't have any Indian porn. I'm like, thank you, but every week he would come in every week. So I tried to find some for him. Like, yeah, I could get it anywhere, and he just, But all right. So speaking of, my next question was interesting. You said, would you just park there in front of even if the boxes scared you? My next question was, what's the scariest movie you remember as a kid?
Oh God. Well, it wasn't even really about movie. It was about moments. The very end of Prince of Darkness, uh, the closet that Carrie was shoved in the original Carrie that had that fucked up Jesus. Oh, that really always bothered me.
You're waiting for his eyes to move and look down at you.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
The old man with his eyeballs picked out in the birds. Like
Yeah,
that really fucking
nice.
bothered me as a kid. Just,
I
just
love
these
that movie.
little traumatic moments that, now as an adult, it's really not like horror. It's stuff like Threads and Requiem for a Dream.
Mhm.
Like that stuff bothers me. Like
Okay.
more than any horror movie that I could watch. Like any
Yeah.
of them, And
Yeah.
I've seen a lot. I've seen some horrible, horrible shit. Like I Spit on Your Grave,
Yes.
the Ilsa movies.
Wow. Yeah. She-Wolf.
Maniac.
Yeah. Boy, those are like hardcore Euro trash.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna cross the border, but that's the one thing where you get this weird exploitation, the crossing of like erotica and violence and torture. It's like no. Those worlds need to be separate.
That's
Very
true torture porn.
Torture
At
porn
the
is
very least, softcore torture porn.
it's like no. Okay, let's not watch someone have sex with someone else's intestines, please. Because that's what I like to think about when I'm alone. So
probably do.
yeah. So what movies or directors influenced your early movie making interests? I'm gonna guess you're Romero, but are there other
Romero's
ones that?
one of them.
Mhm.
Kevin Smith. Watching Clerks. I mean, oh my goodness. So you watch that and you're just like, holy shit, he just had a freaking camera and just, I mean, granted, it was scripted and everything, but it's just people standing around fucking bullshitting about
Yeah, that
stuff.
movie cost about what, 25 grand to make, and it made him a star, millionaire.
Oh, absolutely.
It's such a great
absolutely.
movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
37. But yeah, that was definitely one of them. I remember reading a lot of books. John Russo's books on filmmaking. He did one called "How to Make a Movie for $10,000," and this was still in the days of film and everything.
Sure.
I mean, now you can make it for a lot less, but
right.
he took it step by step, making Midnight 2.
Okay.
And it was like, just all the things you really don't think about, like bathrooms and feeding the actors and crew and this and that and all the
crew. What's that? What's that like?
I know. Usually that's me.
Exactly. All right. What does that mean?
Sound man, me. And,
right.
But,
a couple people on camera blowing blood through tubes. That's who's got the blood bazooka?
I got the mic, the camera mic, got the light here.
Yeah. Lighting? What? How fancy you are?
Oh yeah. At the door. Another one was Lloyd Kaufman's book on filmmaking. Make your own damn movie.
Yeah, nice.
Like that was kind of one of those where it's like, okay, get off your ass, you can do this, make a movie.
Yeah. We interviewed Uncle Lloyd a few months back. He was on our show, which was great. It was really wonderful to meet
him. But yeah, it was.
Yeah,
he was entertaining as always.
Oh God, yes, that was wonderful. No, that's great. That's great. Speaking of like low budgets, we could talk about the particulars, but what is the most expensive movie that you've made of your personal movies? Which one has cost the most?
Probably Oriana Rises, which is one of the newer ones.
Yeah, that's a newer one. And what was are you able to say how much that cost? Would that be too personal?
Probably about $500.
Okay. And what's
not a ridiculous amount?
No. And what about the cheapest movie you've made? How much did it cost?
I mean, probably like any of the comedies, like I know Journeys or anything that it cost nothing. Just
there you go.
Showing up, yeah.
Right.
Showing up
great.
and acting goofy, and there you go.
Yeah.
Really, that's most of them, honestly, unless we've needed like some sort of like with the Reaper, or,
Sure.
some sort of special effect or something like that. I mean, it's
No, it's funny you had mentioned about the the movies. I don't like Monster Party Beach cost me about $160 to make. Quest or Sorority Sisters was about 180, and now half of that, like 100 of that, was the costume, and then the
nice.
rest went toward like some bobby socks and suckers and fake blood. And then Quest for Uranus was the cheapest one by far. It was $135, and that was including a green screen.
Nice.
So I bought
Nice.
some fabric, very little fabric for the
Uh-huh.
Uranusians. And
Yeah, I
and
acted
we
in
got some
that
fake
one.
blood. Yeah, Chop was in Quest for Uranus. Yeah,
Was
yeah,
he? Was he?
yeah.
Nice.
I
Nice.
think
Yeah,
he
Oscar-worthy performance.
that's right. Yeah, I think he's playing what was the character was
Oh,
based on, it was based on Gur- Gordon Lewis. I think it was
Gordon
Gordon
Lewis.
Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah, for H.G. Lewis. I think that was,
Yeah.
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 So we had a blast making that, man. We just shot all of his
That was
lines in one
hilarious.
day, and yeah, I, I'm still happy with how that movie turned out. I mean, all my movies need to be edited down. I need to stop being so enraptured with my own brilliance that that I need to cut. I need to cut, but I'm getting better because the first draft of that script was like 137 pages. I'm like, there's no, that's a 3 hour movie. I'm not going to shoot that.
Uh,
Because I wanted to write like a 75-minute movie. That was my goal, but
sure.
ended up being closer to 100 minutes, and then another 40 minutes of outtakes, which is fine. No one could say you're a Nusian. Like, what? You're a Nusian? What the hell? I'm like, nope. So, okay. Now that we're back, Keith, what is the one movie you wish you had directed or produced?
Oh man. One movie I wish I would have directed or produced.
Yeah.
Ah, God. I guess we're going back to Night again. I guess. I mean, I know
Yeah.
that's like a boring answer, but I
No, I mean,
mean,
that's the seminal one. It's just this time, make sure you put the copyright on it so no one steals it.
well, no, uh this last summer we did the Living Dead festival in
Mhm.
Monroeville Mall, which was freaking fabulous. Getting to walk around in the guts of the Dawn of the Dead mall. I mean, come on, But we went, 20 miles north of Pittsburgh is a town called Evans City, and in Evans City is the original cemetery from Night. And so me and Darcy went out there, and what struck me is it really hasn't changed. Even the background, it still looks like you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm like, oh my God, we could like literally reshoot this scene, shot for shot right here, and it would look almost the same.
Nice.
And yeah, so but unfortunately, I would love to do a remake of Night of the Living Dead, but everybody's done it.
Right.
Everybody's done it, and it's
Yeah.
like, what do you really,
Why? Why would you do it? There's no reason to. Right.
I mean,
Tell
other
the
than
original story.
having your actors playing certain roles, like I would love to
Sure.
see Rico playing Harry Cooper,
Yeah.
like just as a, because he's Colombian, it would just change that so much. And it's like, how would you? That's the only thing I could see that would maybe be different is
Yeah.
have different type of people playing the roles, but see how that comes
Mhm.
off if it totally changes the context of the movie.
I
Yeah.
really like the Savini directed
Oh,
colored
I
one
was just
with Tony
watching that
Todd.
one the other night.
I thought that was really well done. I thought
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As far as remakes go, it was faithful
Oh yeah.
to it. I mean, they spend an awful lot of time nailing up the windows, but they do talk about how slow the zombies are, and you could walk right past them. Those obvious things, which is what makes I love those zombies the best. But no, I get that. I do like that remake. I thought it was done really well.
Mhm.
As you had mentioned, Rico, it's like we both have a stable of actors who continue to work for us, which I think is wonderful. I mean, by the time I did Quest for Uranus, half the cast was new. Like they asked me, like, can I be in this movie? I'm like, yeah, because they had seen my other movies. They knew I was doing another movie. And they wanted to be part of it, which was great. And I finally got to bring in Chop. I've been wanting him to be in a movie for years because we've been friends for God 35 years.
I do.
Um,
Yeah.
and so that was it was kind of nice, but it's also really great when you have people who come back and who do every movie. Like I've got 4 or 5 actors who are in every, all 3 of my movies and then want to continue doing stuff with me. So you got, Rico, and you have a stable of other actors who come back and who act all, in all your movies. So how did that process for you, how does that how did that develop? Like when you started working with Rico, is that relationship develops, is that why they come back, or is there other reasons why you like working with certain people, or who want to work with you?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I worked with Rico, Richard Bothier,
Hmm.
we all just call him Rico, but his actual name is Richard Bothier. Um, he was in Blade. Uh, in fact, if you go on Facebook, there's a Blade Independent Studios page that I made, and they made a movie called A Darker Light in 1996. So you could see, Rico and all them, doing the movie thing back in the mid '90s. And so he actually has been acting since '90. His first appearance was in a Hellraiser fan film called Cinebiome, and he gets killed by the puzzle box basically. Uh, as far as some of the other actors, I think I've just been really lucky. I mean, a lot of them came through Rico, and like I've been getting a lot of haunt actors, like haunted house actors. So I mean, they have the passion for it
Hmm.
already. It doesn't take much to, just push that towards the movie thing.
Yeah.
Like with Oriana, I mean, David, he was a haunt actor, and he just really got into the horror thing. And I need a big, huge guy, because I wanted this big, huge, normally gentle giant get, possessed and transformed into this, mass killer.
Hmm.
Um, and like I said, it's just been a thing of just collecting people over the years, and we've become kind of this loose knit weird family, I
Hmm.
guess, that
Yeah.
get together and do these little movies,
Yeah, it's fun.
basically.
There's something about that camaraderie that we started with Monster Party Beach, and it was really felt on Sorority Sisters because we were all together all the time, like a whole bunch of us. And so most of the scenes
Oh yeah.
involved a group of people, which that makes it so much more fun, especially because these are comedies, with
Yeah,
horror elements. So it's a comedy at its heart. So there's a lot of laughing, a lot of, people are saying the lines and trying to let not to laugh, and everyone's just enjoying the moment, kind of feeding off of one another. And by the time Quest for
absolutely.
Uranus came around, it was very few scenes that were groups because it was usually a one person at a time, which made it interesting as a director and challenging for the actors because half of them had never done anything before. But trying to act to empty air, it's a whole different thing than talking to people and then editing it to make it look like you're all together. But that was the one thing. By the time end of Sorority Sisters, we were just really like, there was a sadness, like, oh man, this was a blast. But I do love that. I miss that. I'm looking forward to making another movie down the road because I really miss that camaraderie that
Oh,
happens on a
absolutely.
set, you know?
Absolutely. When it
Yeah.
goes well, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, totally, totally. So I hope Chop will be in my next movie. Oh, well, he is. I
Yeah,
already got him as a
yeah.
character. He's the sausage.
I'm the
So
sausage.
he's a porn
Yeah.
star.
So,
So
yeah, rightfully named. But
yeah.
no,
Awesome.
anyways,
The
yeah.
sausage link. That's what we're talking about. The missing link. It's in my pants. Um, okay. All right, Keith. Which A-list actor would you really love to score for your next movie?
Oh God. I'm not really like an actor guy. I'm more of a director guy. Actor. I mean, obviously, there's some people that, man, you would just love to have in a movie. Like I said, Denzel Washington, like Tom Hanks. I mean, yeah. I mean, somebody
Selma
like
Hayek.
that probably.
Selma
Oh
Hayek.
God.
Selma Hayek. If you're out there, Miss
Yeah.
Hayek, we'd love to have you on Heavy Metal Horror, please.
Also,
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale, Miss Beckinsale, if you ever want to come on Heavy Metal.
I'm shooting another
I
movie.
mean,
I won't pay you, but you do get a free copy of the DVD. Come on up.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Some people I always want to use were kind of like smaller people, like yeah, I would always have loved to done something with Corey Feldman,
Mhm.
or um, you know, Amber Benson from Buffy. I
Mhm.
mean, and just all these kind of little interesting actors that I've seen, and just like, oh man, this could be somebody really good in like this part.
Yeah.
You've never played that type of part before. Like, do you remember Misty Monday?
Oh yeah,
Monday,
yeah. Yes, yes.
yeah.
I've seen her in a few movies. Yes.
Oh yes, yes. But she was in one of the Masters of Horror, Sick Girl, and she was like, she did such a good job, like being this totally different character and being this totally like, it impressed me because it was a
Yeah.
level of acting I hadn't seen from her.
Right. Because she usually just takes off her clothes and
Exactly,
that's it.
exactly.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the one actress, I forget. She was in
What's wrong with
Stargate.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. She was in the one where I don't know. She. All I remember was she takes off her clothes and she gets in a bathtub with this guy. I'm like, okay, this is great. I need to watch this scene a couple times. Hold on, where
Oh
I gotta
yeah,
put this on
yeah.
a repeat play. Gotta keep one hand free.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm spent.
And we
Um,
derailed on this show. But no,
just that sock. Okay. Keith, what do you like most about being an indie movie producer?
The freedom. The freedom. Yeah, the
Nice.
freedom to do what you want, freedom to film where you want. I mean, granted, there's times we have to like, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
that the scene in Ed Wood going back to it. We don't have any permits, run, and but I mean, I don't know, there's just something about the running and gunning, and it's exciting. Like I always feel like I got away with something.
Nice. Yeah.
Like
Nice. Yeah.
like we did this movie a few years ago called Divine Intervention,
Mhm.
and there was a scene where we needed the serial killer who was kind of the lead character in the movie. He comes face to face with the Reaper, so it'd be kind of almost like, okay, here's a normal serial killer, and then come face to face with like Jeffrey Dahmer, or like what would a up and coming serial killer, how would they look at this like iconic killer, but anyways, so we needed a quick shot in the parking garage downtown where the elevator opens and the Reaper's standing and looking at this character. We were kind of like, yeah, you should call you should let the city know you're filming this, and da 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 da. So we tried to go about it the right way. Darcy got a hold of whoever was in charge that we would have asked permission for. He was cool with it until we said it was going to be a horror movie, and then it was all these hoops we had to jump through, and this and that. So we just said fuck it and went and just did it anyways.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
right
Well,
on.
it was a quick shot, and it's like, you know what?
Right.
Keep lookout. We're gonna get this, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. And it took us like 15 minutes, and we were gone.
Yeah, give it to
But
the
we got
man.
what we needed.
Fuck 'em.
No, I get it. I get it. I brought a weapon onto a public property that wasn't supposed to be there because I needed a gun on the scene because there's a police officer had a gun. It was unloaded. I didn't have any
Yeah,
bullets near the weapon, but still the fact that it was there. And then someone's like, maybe you should like tell security. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to be able to shoot it. With this, I mean, there's no way
yeah.
when I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
we're gonna keep the gun away until we need it. We're gonna use it for the scenes and put it back and just get on with our day.
Right.
Yeah, you just kind of work around those things.
And play stupid.
Exactly.
Play stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know we were supposed to be out
What?
here.
No
Yeah.
one, no one gave me the memo. Where's my people didn't tell me. Well, speaking of the Reaper, let's talk a little bit more about LegacyVerse Productions. This is you've done this for a couple decades now. And what I like about it, I like that there's a connected universe that you have created.
Yeah.
We've got a couple major stories. We got Luna Pier, and then we got the Reaper Saga, are the two I think big sweeping sagas. I think that
Well, they're
from
connected.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but they connect. But you had these like places, but then they're connecting. So and you shoot a lot around Sandusky, Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, and so let's talk a little bit about what you see as like Luna Pier as a concept. And for people who don't know, can you explain a little bit about what the Reaper saga is? So let's start with Luna Pier. What can you tell us about this part of your world?
Well, I mean, it's kind of meant to be this little town, this little touristy town that, I mean, it has a dark side, basically. Like basically with, during the day everything's fine, but at night, that's when the vampires come out. That's when the demonic killers come out. That's when, all this stuff happens, at night. So you basically, and then you establish that there's these kind of super powered characters. I like to say the Lucifer saga is almost like it's a comic book story working with horror elements, basically. Because there's vampires, there's witches, there's demonic killers, but it also goes into like interdimensional things and and mutant powers and stuff like that. Like the next saga, the next that I was working on it involves a kind of a mutant with the ability to kind of almost kind of like the powers combined of the Purple Man and Freddy, basically. And in the Darkness Within, which I'm working on editing right now, he goes in mind of our lead vampire character, who's played by Marissa Simone.
I'm glad
Her
to see
character's name
Marissa.
is Amy
Yeah,
Sava.
yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
Marissa,
Yeah, I definitely want to put her
she's
in a movie.
excellent.
Yeah, I
Oh yeah,
definitely.
did you watch her in Oriana?
No, I've not seen Oriana yet.
She is Oriana. Yeah.
Okay,
She's oh dude, she fucking rocks it. I
good.
mean,
I'll
she's
check it
so.
out. I want to check it out this evening.
Oh yeah. I mean, her schedule is really rough, so sometimes we're kind of pulling our hair out, but man, when she gets there, she delivers gold.
That's great.
Always.
No, I like her performance. I
Always.
always liked her. Like, yeah, I want to work with her. I could just tell, like, okay, I want
Oh,
to work with you. That's one thing I
she's
like about meeting like
funny.
you, like those. Since we're all kind of doing different things. Same thing with Robert Katabish.
Oh
His
yeah.
productions. Like, we have these separate, but we all do the similar things, but very different audiences, kind of different products. But I like that we can overlap. I want to do something. I think we had that meeting about it. The Money Shot
Yeah.
Productions about doing something all of us together with all of our actors and all of our things like that. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. And yeah, Marissa, I mean, what can I say
No, I'd
about her?
love to work with her. Yeah,
She's
she's
funny. She can do dramatic. She can do scary. I mean, hell, the one part. I mean, her and Wendy in Darkness Within. There's a scene in there and filming it. Like, dude, I was starting to tear up a little bit. Like I mean, just like they were doing such a great job. I was just like, wow. It's so crazy to see your dialogue. Or like specific parts getting when you're actually seeing it play out, you're just like, oh my goodness,
yeah, because
this
when you
worked
write it,
out
you hear
way
it a certain
better.
way.
Sure.
Yeah, and then sometimes when they
Sure.
interpret it, it's like, oh, I never heard it that way. It's really great.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And
It's a
I like
beautiful
having to
thing.
let them run with it. And I always try to ask them to do one take, like how I hear it in my brain. Like I could
Sure.
say, can you say it like this? And just
Sure.
get a take and then let them run with it because I don't want to hinder them, but I just want to see because sometimes the take that they do is better than what you imagine it would be. Like, oh, there you go. We'll take that,
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like me. I
Especially
did
with
very well, and
comedy.
I did very well. 7 pages of script in like 3 hours. Of course, Montag sitting there go, "This is. Can you say it like this?" And then I did. He goes in the background. He'd be smelling. He's like trying not to laugh. And he's like, "Yeah, that's what it is."
I'm holding my breath. I'm like, look, I'm literally putting my hand over my mouth so that the camera doesn't pick up my laughing. There were a couple times shooting Quest for Uranus where you can hear the laughter. I had to kind of take the audio processor and like physically wipe out, my laughing because it was just too funny. you know, seeing these
Yeah.
things, it's like, oh my God, okay, this is even better. Especially when we had our friend, you know, Lauren join us. We were all shooting together. That was a great time because we're all pals, and she's a great giggler, great laugher. And the three of us together, it's like, oh, this is heaven. Because
Oh,
watching
yeah.
her perform and like egging her on, it's like, and then she's laughing. She's like breaking up between takes too. It's like that's the most fun when everyone's just goofing around, having fun.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
just, and that's what makes it a joy, you know, for me. Like,
Yes,
okay, this is why we do this because it is so fucking fun, you know?
it is. It is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, can you tell us a little bit about the Reaper saga? I think that one might be your longest lasting, like for its number of movies. I think. I mean, this Reaper saga has just gone, you know, gone on what 6, 7, or am I?
You know, actually, technically, only like 4 or 5.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess if you count like little
There's the
things,
original
like
trilogy, right? And
yes,
then it moved. Then I know he made appearances in other things. So
yes. Oh, so it would go Fear the Reaper, Reaper Reborn, Essence of Evil, which is about the Reaper cult.
okay,
Like it
yeah.
shows kind of how that came together. Uh, Midsummer Nightmare, the Reaper's in, but it's not about him. Well, it's not even really him. It's an illusion of the Reaper, and that goes
Spoiler
back
alert.
into yes. Well, that goes into the Dwayne Jenkins story
Sure.
because that's it's illusion created by him basically.
Hmm.
Then Reaper's Revenge, and then there was a couple like the little ones, but those are kind of more lost stories from like Absence of Evil, which is like We Want You and Divine Intervention. You might as well call those like lost stories from In the Absence of Evil, kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
they connect definitely, but they're
Yeah.
more kind of side stories.
Yeah.
Damn it,
And
Keith! Now you've told me all
graphic.
about your films. Now I don't even want to fucking watch them. No, I'm actually very interested in the Reaper stuff. Now that
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
I
Thank
like.
you.
I liked how it progressed. I like the story. I like bringing in the cult aspect. Because I remember when we did a show, I think we were just swapping movies left and right, and like you know, you guys loaded me up with everything. I'm like, I wish I had more movies to give you. I've only got 3, but you know, it was just really great, and to sit there and watch them, like, and see how it progressed. That's one thing I really liked about it. It was what I admired so much is the passion behind it. Like some of the stuff is shot on video, like VHS video camera, and I just thought, okay, I see the passion immediately behind it. Between what you and Robert do are very different audiences, different than what I do, but that's irrelevant. You know, we're all indie filmmakers who film like we like, you know, and we're all supportive of one another, you know, which is what was great. But I love the passion you guys bring to your movies. You know, I really appreciate that.
Well, that's one thing I really kind of wanted to do. I mean, I know you wanted to do like the thing with all the castings. I kind of wanted to do something where each of the groups would take, maybe like 20 minutes and do a story that would continue through all 3, but in their own particular way. You know
That's
what I'm
really, I
saying?
love that.
Like a
That's
MacGuffin
fantastic.
that goes through each story
Yeah,
and it connects them, but you would see, okay, this is a typical Cyclops, story.
sure,
This
right.
is a typical LegacyVerse story. This is a typical Rack story.
Yeah.
And
Nice
how,
rack.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. But that's how it would change in complete tone
For
from
rack, it would just be girls, busty girls dancing in very little clothing. That would be the story. They would just dance around and escaping from
just
the
show that
Reaper.
shit for 90 minutes. Yeah, I'm in.
That's right.
Where do I get my ticket?
That's
oh
right.
yeah, oh
Exactly.
yeah. Although I'm
No,
surprised Janet J doesn't do more with acting.
you know, I think she's so good.
She is.
And she's so
She
crazy
is.
pretty, you know. And yeah, I know she's so busy with the Mummy and the Monkey, you know, doing those things like that. But I would love to see her more. So when we get together, we do something. I'm definitely going to ask her if she'd like to be in a scene
Oh
from the new one
yeah.
because I'm doing the inappropriate stories for children.
Oh
And she could,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so I'd love to bring her in some way, shape, or
Yeah.
form, you know, because she's so good. you know, at what she does, and she's funny, and she's just a charming person, and her husband the same way. They're just he's funny. I mean, you know, the mummy, the monkey character, they're both
Yeah,
just such nice people, you know, and that's I
nice.
love that they are carrying on that horror host tradition. You know, we're all from generally the same area. We know the same people. We grew up watching Superhost and Big Chuck and Little John and
Oh
Houlihan
yeah,
Big Chuck and you know all those the Ghoul. You know, so it's just
son
kind of
of Ghoul.
nice. Yeah, you know, exactly. Right, right. Um, all right, Keith. So you you did share a great story about the scene where you didn't get permission, but you must have a few crazy stories about things that have happened on set aside from that. So can you share like maybe the most outrageous scene or a thing that happened while you guys were shooting?
um, well, let's see. Okay. There's a oh God, I don't want to ruin it, but there's a
If it's
I
gonna ruin
forgot.
it, we
I
can
don't want
say
to ruin. I
we
don't want to ruin Oriana. So let me go
yeah,
back to
okay.
Dead
All right.
Evolution here. So
Okay.
back in 2005, I made a movie called Dead Evolution. It was a zombie movie, and we were filming this scene where Rico was a zombie and he was attacking somebody in a van. Basically, actually, I think there were two zombies, and they attacked somebody in a van. Rick, actually. So we they're all done up, they're walking along the side of this road or whatever, and me and Rick hop in the van because I want to do a shot where it's like driving as you're seeing them walking type of thing. So as we circle around to do this, all of a sudden cops pull up, and I guess somebody had driven by and seen Rico and him all bloodied and everything and called the cops because they thought somebody had gotten attacked or something like
Nice.
that. So I'm like, oh shit, and everything. So we pull up and I'm thinking, oh crap, we're all gonna get arrested and everything. And the cop hops out and he recognized Rico. He's like, Rico, are you out here making movies again and stuff? And he's like, yeah, and everything. And he just explained it was that typical thing. Oh, let us know what's happening next time. And as he's pulling away, I film it and I wind up putting it in the movie. Like and in the preview. So you see that cop kind of doing that U-turn or whatever, and I slowed it down and put it in the movie. Yeah,
Nice.
I mean,
Nice.
where else are you gonna get a cop car, in your movie for not paying
For nothing, right?
for
Exactly.
nothing? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you find places to shoot, found it's like almost like found footage. Like no, you go to existing locations, you don't build a set, and if you get something that happens on film, you use it. Like I think what was happening? I was down shooting for Monster Party Beach or something, and a police boat like drove by, like just was like I'm like, oh, what? I gotta shoot this. I
Oh
gotta
yeah.
because hey, I could use that for something. You never know. You know,
Yeah.
it just
Kind of like
didn't.
that scene in Ed Wood when they're in the editing room and and oh, the military get called in
It
and
scares all the
they
cows.
scream,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's
Giant
it. That's
octopus. They'll be in my
exactly, exactly. Oh, what's your creative process like? From like, how do you come up with the ideas for your movies? Like, how does that whole creative process work for you?
a lot of it comes from certain images in your head. It either comes from certain images or it comes from what if, asking what if. Like, we'll do what if first here. This
What
safe
what if
place.
what if Montag were a love god surrounded by a whole bevy of beauties? Yes.
What if? Yeah.
That
But,
answer, I always hear that.
Boy, what an illusion.
Exactly. Delusion. That's what it is.
Illusion. Fuck. Go ahead, Keith.
so safe place, it was kind of that idea of, okay, once again, zombie movie. What if, like, when Ben and Barbara go to the house of Night of the Living Dead, in the basement, instead of Harry Cooper and all them, you have some freaking like Leatherface type killer hiding down there. And that was from that little seed the movie came, basically. Like, what would happen there if all of a sudden not only did you have to worry about zombies outside the house, now you got a killer running around in the house. So yeah,
I
you're
like that.
doubly fucked.
No,
You're
that's
doubly
great.
fucked.
Right. Oh,
Now
that's
on the other end of things, Oriana was inspired by just it was going to be a music video eventually, or originally, I'm sorry, where this guy was house sitting this apartment or wherever, and he started having dreams of this woman, and he went out to the backyard and dug up her head, and killed the person that came back to that set him up with the apartment and stuff, and took her head and walked out into the night. That originally was the idea for that, and it was going to actually be a music video. I was going to put it to the Association Never My Love.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that was originally what the idea was. And then
Okay.
it got stretched out into a 30-minute story because there was this contest. And we actually ended up doing We Forgot for it because Oriana wasn't done script. And it ended pretty much about halfway through the movie. Like something happens halfway through the movie, and that pretty much was where it was going to end. But then I found out there was going to be another contest for a feature, and all of a sudden it's like, oh well, fuck! Now I gotta write more to this here, and I ended up overwriting, and it ended up being like over an hour and a half. Like it was only originally supposed to be over an hour, so but then I kind of had to have it play out. I was like, okay, well, I brought these characters in early. Now I got to bring them back and have them have a bigger role in things, and bring this character back and extend the fate of one character to much later in the movie. But it was just playing with things basically.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice. Excellent. So, what motivates you to continue making indie movies?
I think it's just that passion. Because I'll be honest with you, there are a lot of times where I'm just like, screw it, I'm done. I'm gonna make
Yeah, it wasn't
YouTube
too long ago.
content.
I remember you taking a break. I remember hearing from you guys like you were done with movies, and I was like, oh man, I get it.
Dude,
But there was a lot of things going on. But I'm so glad that you came back to it. I really am.
it was getting, I think what needed to happen is we needed to get certain elements out, and maybe that kind of helped me do that because those elements aren't there anymore, and I'm so happy about it.
Yeah. Right.
And so once those stressful elements are out of the picture, it's like, okay, let's get back to what we're doing. Let's get back to having fun with this. And it's like when you get all that stress put on you,
Hmm.
it's just like, dude, I just want to have fun and tell stories, and
Hmm.
I don't want the weight of all this, responsibility on me.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, and I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah, I've gone through like I want to do another movie, but it takes so long to do, as you know. Like Quest for Uranus took me a year of work, like almost every day, like between writing and casting and directing, shooting, editing. I mean, editing alone was over $300, and
Oh yeah.
it's like it's just hard to find that time. And then now with everyone's schedules and everyone's lives, logistically, that's why it worked out where I could have one or two people show up instead of like 8 or 9, because there's no way I'm going to get 9 people's schedules to show up. You're not paying people to show up, so they're just not going to be able
Yeah.
to. So it becomes really, really difficult and challenging to shoot an indie movie. So I totally get it. I'd
Yeah.
love to, but I think when I do inappropriate stories for children, it'll probably have to be something similar. Like, okay, we get someone who can show up and we can shoot all that person's scenes the best we can, or something like that, and just make it fit. Just
Yeah.
because that's the way of doing it. It's just easier. Had I won the lottery, we wouldn't have to worry about that. I'd just say, hey,
Yeah.
here's $5,000 for a week. You want to show up and work? So
Oh, it'd be beautiful.
it would be. So we're gonna ask just kind of some one-off questions here. This could be all kinds of oddball, interesting questions here for you.
Okay. Okay.
Who's your favorite cartoon character?
Scooby Doo.
Nice. I love Scooby-Doo, man. I know
I
Chop's a big
love.
fan too. Yeah.
I even love the rip off, all the rip off shows they did, like Clue Club and Josie and the Pussycats, Jabberjaws, the Dinobutt, and all that crap, man.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I remember
nothing.
those.
There's nothing like those 70s cartoons,
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera rocked. Yeah, totally. And I think Scooby-Doo is one that we could get baked and enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like,
My-
hey man, check us out from Heavy Metal
Yeah.
Horror.
That's right. Hey man, we're gonna
Like
zoinks.
Scoob.
Oh man, Velma. Oh, Velma's looking good. What is your favorite movie snack?
Oh, popcorn. Popcorn. Especially
Plastic.
movie theater popcorn.
Mhm.
Yeah, nothing like it, man. I know. I sometimes would go just get the bucket of popcorn because you could always get a refill. The free refill.
Extra butter.
That's
Oh, yeah.
sometimes that's like better than the movie. The popcorn's like,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
diabetic coma, here I come.
Or at the very least, it enhances.
Sure.
It,
Right.
like sometimes you'll sit there and watch a movie and you're like, you know what, this is stupid as fuck, but it's a great popcorn movie, and
Yeah. Right.
it
You
makes it a
lower
little
your
more.
expectations. Like, okay, that is what it is. Let's just have
Yeah.
fun with it. Yeah. No, I
Sure.
totally get that. Okay, if a biopic is made of your life, who would you want to play you?
Oh geez. God, a biopic of my life would be pretty damn boring. Like I often tell people the most interesting stuff about me happens in my fucking head, Oh man, let me think about that a second. Who would be like if he was younger, I'd say Paul Giamatti maybe, or
Oh,
somebody
nice.
like that.
Okay.
Just because of the physical, and
Yeah,
he did
no.
such a great job in American Splendor.
Yeah,
as,
and in Private
Harvey-
Parts. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he's a
yes.
great actor. So no, he's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. Giamatti, if you'd like to come on our show, we'd love to have you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's very cool. Who's your bucket list celebrity to meet?
Bucket list celebrity to meet. And the sad thing is, a lot of them are dead now. I know
Yeah.
Romero was on there. I would love to met Roddy Piper. Let's see, who else? I wouldn't mind meeting Tony Todd.
Yeah, he'd be cool.
I wouldn't mind
cool.
meeting
That'd be
Tony
interesting.
Todd.
Yeah,
Or
I definitely
Robert
want him
Englund.
to. Yeah, I definitely want Tony Todd to sign, some kind of Candyman thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What would you tell your childhood self about being a movie producer?
You know what? I would tell my childhood self, take college more serious, younger. Go for it. Don't let anything stand in your way. Go for it.
There's a
You
reason
know.
we're born with two middle fingers, so go for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't
Nice.
let the things that you let stop you.
Okay, that's
or
great.
hinder you.
Excellent. We've only got a few more questions to go. We're winding down. So
Okay.
we're all fans of something. What is your favorite piece of movie memorabilia?
The movie memorabilia. I mean, I really wouldn't mind having Indiana Jones' whip.
Okay. Do you have something in your possession, like
All
something
of
you
the-
own?
Oh, do I have?
Yeah,
most of what I
any
have?
movie like something autographed, but Indiana Jones's whip would be cool. But do you own some kind of piece of memorabilia? Like this is my favorite. This is my favorite autograph. This is my favorite signed this, or something that you got from someone, or something like that. Do you have a favorite piece of memorabilia?
I lost it, but you know what? I had an autograph signed from Bill Hinsman, or Bill Heinzman, how you pronounce it.
Okay, nice.
The cemetery zombie from the original Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
That would have been it, because he was such a nice dude, man. He was so great. Like, had
Nice.
no pretensions about, like, he even was dressed as the cemetery zombie.
Oh, nice.
And like took pictures, and it was great. Like you could tell he just had a blast talking to fans and everything.
Yeah, that's what makes it awesome. Those moments, because it's a dicey proposition to meet someone who's like a hero kind of thing, because you never know if they're going to be nice or they can be a dick. But it's so wonderful when they appreciate, fans, and they just want to like hang out with them. I love that.
Yeah, because you know, and I'm still a big fan of Tom Savini.
Mhm.
Kind of a dick. Kind of a
He
dick in
can
real
be,
life.
you know, he really can be.
Yeah.
It depends on the day, man. I think you catch him on a bad mood and he's like, you know.
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't get it, man. Yeah, I know.
Kane
Um,
Hodder, same way.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I know when Chop and I went to go to the Cinema Wasteland for the 20th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I was there. Oh,
Oh,
okay, okay.
yeah, TCM 2
I was there
in
when they did
2006.
the big chainsaw of
Oh,
2006.
yeah, 2006. Yeah, because they
I
had the
might have been
cast, like,
there for
everyone except
that.
for Dennis Hopper. You know, Caroline Williams, Tom Savini was there, Bill Mosley, and Leatherface, Bill, because our friend Bloodletter, we were there, and we met Bill Johnson. It was Bill Johnson. He's
It was
Leatherface,
Bill Johnson.
and
Yeah.
then LG was because I had him sign it to Mark. Oh shit. Because it's a great deadline. You know, he said he'd
Yeah,
never signed
yeah,
that.
yeah,
He goes, "Oh,
The
yeah.
no one's ever
longest
asked me
sigh
this.
ever.
No one's ever asked me to sign that." And he's like, you know, he was just awesome. But they were all so very nice, you know, and that's what made it great. So okay, Keith, when you're not making movies, what kinds of things do you do for fun?
You know, I'm a big comic book fan. So, you know, I love going to comic book stores and, you know, flipping through $1.50 boxes and, you know, trying to complete my little runs there. I collect the Marvel Legends and I got a Man Thing right
Oh,
here.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah, nice,
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I just love buying stuff, books and trade paperbacks and you know toys and all kinds of other things.
You're keeping
That's
the kid
really it.
spirit alive. Yeah,
Oh,
Collecting
absolutely.
shirts. It's real.
I
Yeah.
totally get it, man.
That's it.
So what are you watching on streaming services? Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Disney, anything good?
You know what? The last thing I watched on Disney was the Werewolf by Night special,
That was fun.
which oh man,
Yeah, I
and
liked
then
it.
once again, that's why I
Yeah,
drug out Man Thing because I mean they
yeah,
did such a great job with Man Thing,
yeah.
and
I
I
was a
was
really
just
surprised. I hope
like,
they do more. I really want to see these characters more.
oh yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
God, they got a Dracula, a Frankenstein, what the living mummy.
yeah. Oh, I
They got
love.
all these
Yeah,
different horror characters that they could
yeah,
bust out. Son of Satan,
yeah.
you
Man
know,
Wolf.
and of
Yeah, I'd
course
love. Yeah, yeah. I'd love
Man
to see
Wolf.
that.
Yeah, and I
Love it.
want to see a new version of Ghost Rider. I love the Ghost Rider. So
Nice. Oh yeah, all
yeah,
that stuff's great. That's
and I
great.
even sat through those shitty Nicolas Cage movies just because fucking Ghost Rider. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
used to
go
yeah.
love
make
the
love to
comic.
the Constitution and turn my head into flame. Right.
But you got to admit, when he was Ghost Rider, he looked badass,
Oh
especially
yeah,
the second.
The
totally.
kid was
I
good.
mean,
Yeah.
it's Raging
Oh,
Cajun, man. Nick, you know, it's like you,
Hit
yeah,
or miss.
you got to know what you're gonna get with Nick Cage, you know.
absolutely.
All right, Keith. Our
Absolutely.
last official question here.
Okay.
What's the one thing almost no one knows about you?
That Keith isn't my first name.
Oh, look at that. I did not know that. I've always called you Keith.
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Keith is my
Okay.
middle name.
Oh, wonderful.
wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so why the
We're gonna
change? Do you
name this.
not?
We're gonna name this show. We're interview with John Doe, right?
That's right.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So do you just not like
Because
your first name or
no, not really. Not
okay.
really. I mean, when you got picked on a lot in high school and in school, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, my mom was one of those. "Oh, I'm gonna name you this unique name because she was a former hippie, and you
Okay.
know,
You weren't
there
like
was a lot of
Apple
drugs
Doorknob or
involved.
something like that, right? It's not like
No, 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 no,
okay.
no, no. No, my first name is Nyland.
Oh, okay.
Nyland Keith Munden. Yeah,
All right, it's Keith. Okay. Well, there you go.
yeah.
Look
I
at
was gonna
that.
say. I was gonna say Starlight, but we'll go with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice. That's nice. Um,
Cool.
yeah.
well, Keith, I want to thank you for taking the time to be on Heavy Metal Horror and spending some time with us today and letting us to get to know you a little bit better. And so you said you're editing a new movie. So what other
Yes.
projects do you have in the coming year?
Well, filming, we kind of got stymied at the end because I was gonna try to. We had to recast Feruza, the witch from Saga, and we thought we had somebody, but we filmed the scene with her, and then she had to drop out because of health issues, and that kind of threw a wrench into
Sure.
everything. That and the haunt season, like
Yeah. Well,
had
Chop
most of my.
Top's not too far from you. You know, he could probably play the witch.
Ha ha ha! There you go. There you go. But
Yeah, just give me an artificial rack and everything and a witch's hat and shit. I'll do it for you.
we'll give Robert
Cover
a
up my
call.
I'd like to see that, Chop. Where's my sock?
Yeah.
My chop sock.
Well, we got 3 movies that are they're done. They just got to be edited. Darkness
Okay.
Within is what I'm working on right now, and it's a Luna Pierce saga story.
Mm-hmm.
Graduation Day, which is basically the follow up to Darkness Within. Like it basically something gets revealed in Darkness Within, and Graduation Day deals with the fallout from that.
Okay, nice.
With scars being opened, basically. And then the third one, and it's the longest one that's been sitting there, Unknown Journeys 2,
Okay.
which is going to be funny as hell. It's just unfortunately more important movies have just kept bumping it back.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Everybody wanted to see Oriana, and everybody wanted to see Nice Guy finish his last, and some of these other ones.
Sure.
Which that's a fun one because that's I think somebody considered it a cross between Maniac and Dawn of the Dead.
Oh,
So
okay.
there you go.
I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta, as this plague winds down, we gotta get together. We gotta do something. We'll talk with Robert. It would be lovely to do something. And
Oh, absolutely.
I started writing the script for the main movie for the inappropriate stories for children, just to see, like, you know, because you always doubt yourself, I think, going into a creative project, like, can I do this again? Can I do whatever it is? And then it kind of started flowing. I'm like, oh, okay. For me, it's
Of
helpful.
course
Like,
I can do. Yeah.
yeah, once I know who's playing it, that's also very helpful, because I project someone for certain parts because I know them and I know how they can deliver lines. So I want to give them lines that they can deliver well, you know.
Oh, sure.
But
Sure.
yeah. So anyway, we always asked our guests, Keith, if they would give us a bumper. You know, you could say something like, "This is Keith Munden of LegacyVerse Productions, and you're watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror." Could you do something like that for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
I'll let you go.
Hey, this is Keith Munden from LegacyVerse Productions, and you are listening and watching Heavy Metal Horror. So rock on.
Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, this has been a blast. It's good seeing you, by the way. It's been a couple
great to
years.
see
I
you
think
too,
the
and
last
nice
time.
meeting you, Chop Top.
Oh yeah, it's great meeting you, Keith. And
Hell
thank you
yeah.
for being on our show. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we gotta get together when we do Chop. You're right in the vicinity, so we gotta get together to watch these movies. They're fun. They're schlocky.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. I mean, the passion's there. You know, the budget isn't there, but you don't. It's irrelevant. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I like that, because when you don't have money, you kind of make do without. You know,
Yeah,
and you
let's
don't.
get baked and have a legacy fest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
right. We'll also watch Quest for Uranus. You know, well, hey, why not? You know,
Oh. Yeah, definitely get baked.
Do a double feature, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's the best way to watch those movies. I remember someone I met. I didn't know this person, but he recognized me. He was at a gas station. He's like, "Hey, aren't you the guy who did Monster Party Beach?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, my friends and I watch it. We turn it into a drinking game." I'm like, "Excellent, that's nice." He goes, "Yeah, every time someone looks at their script, we take a drink." I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys must be blottoed." Like, yeah, because there are scenes you can see the script like right in front of them. You know, no, that's awesome. That's great.
You have
But
to do that sometimes with people.
that's
Like I've
fine.
had,
You know,
I've had to have the script like right off camera. With
yeah,
certain
no,
people,
there were times where I had a post for Quest for Uranus where they were looking into the direction, and I just had it taped onto a pole, you know, like a little lamp. They could just read it. I'm like, that's fine. You don't have to memorize it. No
Not
pressure.
me, I'm a professional. I did mine right from the fucking page and memorized.
That's right.
I tend to write these horrible like exposition-y like paragraphs, and I know Rick like hates it, but unfortunately his character is kind of exposition guy, you know.
Right.
So he comes in and kind of explain sometimes what's going on behind the scenes, and so he gets these horrible paragraphs that he's just like, you know. And then Rico, who will memorize and memorize and memorize. He's like Tim Roth in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, he even uses that as his comparison, where he'll sit there and just go over the script over and over and over again until he has it perfectly. You know,
I don't even do that when I write the thing. You know, it's like one and
he
done.
does
man.
though. He is so worried about getting it right. You know.
Yeah. But I mean, Chop can attest. Like, I have a no pressure situation. It's like we do
Oh,
one
yeah.
line or two lines at a time. It's like, look, we're having fun.
Oh
you know?
yeah. I never get mad about it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
It
there
was
were
just hard
times.
enough getting through with Montag because I'm like, we couldn't really look at each other. We were just going to bust out laughing. Each other.
Exactly.
It was very difficult to get
Yeah,
through.
I mean, and I was just so grateful to be able to shoot a movie with Chop. Like, we've been friends for such a long time. To share that moment was wonderful. You know, to be able to have that experience. You know, so. But anyway, we're going to do our commercial and we're going to get out of here. All right, Keith. So, hey, you can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com. Listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. If you're watching, that's where you're at. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. And we're now on Roku, Hotel Metal Jam. If you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
And ChopTop.
And you've been watching and listening to, all right, Keith, bring up the horns. Heavy Metal Horror.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.